Hi fans, sorry for the dishevelled hair. I didn't get up too long ago. I did get up not too long ago, I should say. Um, we've just had a bit of a kick up the arse. Um, if you haven't seen it, there'll be a link below. Um, FFG has announced version 2.0. Now, this is actually a bit of a surprise. Um, we knew it was coming, we just didn't know when. In hindsight, I guess Gen Con does make a lot of sense because it's usually the big spot for everything. Um, so yeah, I'll put the photo here. It's on my phone. So yeah, it's going to be a new starter. There's new changes. There's a few little surprises which do and don't surprise me. Um, the first one I noticed was all the upgrade cards, pilot cards, right, small ones, are now the same size as your regular cards. Um, so they're actually just like a little bit extra on the side, and but I mean for the actual shape and like the detail, it's still the same size. It's just that it's now printed on the bigger card. I'm thinking that's probably from a probably a money saving thing, more than likely. Um, it's easier to print one size than multiple sizes. Um, the second thing I noticed, and a lot of other people have noticed, is squad point costs are gone. I'll bring that back in a minute. Um, the new setup does mean everything is no more. So all your old cards, they're worthless. No point. So if you like playing Expedition 1.0 and still want to play it, you're going to see a lot of upgrade cards on the table soon, on the eBays and all that. I'll try and sell them for a pretty penny, but the reality is they're worthless now. This also brings into an interesting little side note. Oh, it's not really a side note, but it's somewhat important. Wave 14. Well, that's a little surprise. Apparently, that's going to include um, 1.0 and 2.0 cards in it. So you're going to see both lots in there. The 2.0 cards will obviously be different to the 1.0 cards. Now, 1.0 is going to make a big impact until it swings over to 2.0. But I think just like 40k did, you're probably going to see a dearth of major tournaments under X-Wing 1.0, probably after Worlds. I think Worlds will probably be the big swan song, and that'll be it until 2.0. You'll probably have your stall, maybe your stall tournaments and that. There'll be a lot of talk about it, unless FFG brings their app to the table early. Now we get to the meat and butter of this one. FFG have announced that they will have a squad builder app and web page, which will include all the points for the ships and upgrades. Well, you say, didn't see that coming, did you? Maybe you did. Um, I wasn't. I was expecting to see the point upgrades cards on the card still, but then moving to a more digital medium um, to allow the game to be evolved over time makes a lot more sense. Um, I'll sort of mirror it to sort of what 40k has done with their sort of living rule set, even though it's not a digital one. All the updates are through pretty much digital mediums or updated rule books. Um, but this one's actually interesting because their playtesters will be able to sort of raise concerns, or if there's something comes up that the playtesters haven't seen, you're going to see that be affected by FFG pretty much live. So you're going to see maybe a whole bunch of tournaments, for example, um, you'll see one sort of meta dominating everything else, and they'll be able to look at that from the get go and go, okay, well, this point's a little bit too low, or maybe that one's a little bit too high. We can adjust this to bring everything a bit more into balance and promote other metas. Um, it's a good idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. Not everyone's going to be happy with it. It's a simple fact. People don't like change, and that's a video for another time. But suffice to say, anyone who says they love change is full of it. Um, human psyche does not accept change easily. You have to move forward with it. I've got two daughters, and when they came into the world, it was a big change. It took me a long time to sort of adjust to it. So yes, I can assure you, a lot of you may not necessarily realize it, but trust me, change is a big thing. Um, I'm hoping a lot of you do. But anyway, I digress. The biggest thing about this, I think, aside from the fact that FFG can basically live view reams of data and say, oh, okay, so we're seeing a lot of, say, X-Wing dominated meta in Australia and a lot of Y-Wing over in America and maybe some like TIE Fighter, a lot of TIE Fighter heavy in Europe. Um, I think this is the crux of the matter at the moment. We're going to see different countries have different metas. It's always been the case. Um, the states have a more had a more what do you call it, turret dominated meta, whereas I think it was the European Worlds recently, European Open. That was like it was Brigham was like the biggest one ever, and that was like it wasn't heavily turret dominated. It was more so you like your arc dodging and stuff like that. So, and down here in Australia, it's the big hitters. I mean, you've got your Ghost Ben still, but doesn't really pick up as much as say Imperial Aces um, and Scum and Villainy builds. Imperial Aces seem to be one of the stronger metas. You still got like I mean Dash and Poe won I think was X-Wing, the New South Wales Nationals, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, look, I think this is the one thing they're probably going to sort of look at and go, they're going to look at the numbers, but as long as those numbers are not geographically representative, and I say that because if they're basing it on just one group of people, you're going to have the other groups pissed off because that's going to alter their meta as well indirectly. Um, I mean, and you know, mucking up the meta for people is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, change can be as good as a holiday, depending on who you ask. But in a situation like this, you don't want um, the meta to be swung one way massively versus sort of spread out a little bit to sort of balance a bunch of things to sort of even things out. So with any luck, FFG will actually look at worldwide data rather than sort of geographically representative data. Um, this could be, I think this is probably going to be the one risk they're going to have with this. Um, I do think it's a good idea. I think it's a fantastic idea, and being able to have all that live data and be able to crunch it and put it through some filters and stuff to sort of look at what things are working and what things aren't is a great thing. It's a great thing. In fact, I'd love to see those tools become available to everybody in X-Wing. It would give us a lot more visibility and stuff like that. What does this mean to sites like List Juggler and what else? X-Wing, yet another X-Wing builder. I can see yet another X-Wing builder going the way of the Dodo pretty quickly. Um, I can see X-Wing List Juggler and Meta Wing. Um, Depends on the tools that we can get from the new FFG app and website. If they um, allow us to have a view of other tournaments and like compile them into data and so forth and get a broad spectrum of data and be able to view it all, similar to what MetaWing and X-Wing List Juggler can do, then I'll expect those two will probably drop off the radar as well. If it doesn't, you'll probably start seeing. It'll take some time, but X-Wing List Juggler and MetaWing will probably still continue. But given what FFG have basically come up saying this the new tools would bring, I would be surprised, especially if they'll probably start maybe clamping down the copyright just a little bit more, I think. But it remains to be seen. FFG have been pretty lenient and pretty happy with everything at the moment. Um, but yeah, I think one of the big questions we've got though in regards to squad builder is in the FFG one, is it going to be behind a paywall? Is the app going to cost us? Um, the rumor has it is that the 2.0 upgrade packs, which basically give you all your cards and your upgrades and um, dials for the new version for all your old ships, are going to like $50. You see, I mean, in Australia, that's going to be like $70. That's a big investment. Yes, you get a lot of shit in it, granted, but it's a little bit steep. I mean, I could understand if it was like, $20, $30. I think though 70 Australian, if it's 50 US, it's going to be 70 Australian. I really think it's a little bit too expensive. I really think this is one where FFG should have sort of just bit the bullet and said, okay, we're going to take a bit of a loss on this, but everything else will make profit on. Where it will remain to be seen. Once they announce prices, we may be pleasantly surprised. Look, if it's 30 US, 50 Australian, hopefully 40 Australian, I could live with. But I think anymore you're sort of pushing. Not everyone has loads of money. I mean, I blew a lot on getting my X-Wing levels to where pretty much I've got one of bloody everything. Um, if not two of the lot more important stuff. I mean, hell, I've got unopened packs interceptor M3A interceptors. Gurgits. I've got an open pack of the quad jumper. I've got Y wings, just sitting here that I haven't been opened. So yeah, look, I had plans for the upgrade cards, and now I see it. It's just like, well, that's a waste because I've now got 5 Y wings as well. Um, so yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but at the same time, it's exciting. There's a lot of things we can really look forward to seeing here that will make a big difference. A lot of people have been getting tired of the whole Nim Miranda and things like Ghost Fan. Ghost Fan hasn't been really dominating as much. It's almost easy mode, but it's not really. It hasn't been winning that many tournaments, but it's been getting into the cut. Um, Other people have covered that more intelligently than I could. Um, but yeah, look, it's going to be I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of a downturn on tournaments until 2.0 gets released. As I said, we saw the same thing in 40k. Everything as soon as the 8th was announced, everything sort of slowed down. And 8th edition took a while to sort of build back up, and even then still hasn't really hit the numbers in some regards. X-Wing will remain to see. I would like to see, I mean, FFG can do a couple of things here. Um, and to be honest, I reckon they probably could sort of release a little bit early, but they're saying Gen Con. That's probably more so just to get stock levels good. Um, I don't blame them for it. Um, the fact that the cards are already printed. I mean, I've already seen one unboxing apparently for Wave One. Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. Um, we will see a lot of change. There'll be a lot of differences in regards to how ships work. We've already seen pilot skill is no longer. Now it's initiative, which is capped at 6. Um, Things like push limit are gone. Um, Veteran instincts are gone. It doesn't mean we're not going to see similar things in 2.0. Never say never. Um, a few ships have got uh, sort of combo bonuses. So sort of you start off with the focus and then you can go into a barrel roll or a boost, and usually that second one is stressed, so red. They've changed the dials from green to blue for the relieving stress um, maneuvers, so the easy ones for colorblind, which makes a lot of sense. Um, I know people who are colorblind and they don't. Some people didn't have an issue with it. Some people did. Um, but look, doesn't matter. Um, in a lot of regards, 2.0 is actually a way to sort of correct the flaws that have sort of crept in as the creep has grown. Um, I think so there's a lot more slots now on ships, or possibilities of slots compared to what there was back when X-Wing came out. I mean, you had um, torpedoes, missiles, um, and that was it. Then you started getting titles and modifications, which were not on the actual cards. Then you had tech slots and system slots and bomb slots and a whole bunch of slots, and yeah. But anyway, um, sorry. I really think for the new edition, the mega breaks are going to be: is the upgrade kits cheap enough for an existing person who has bought a lot to be able to buy them and go, hey, I'm done. In a lot of cases, people may need to buy 2 of each faction to cover off the amount of units they've got. I know for me, I'm looking at it, and depending on points costs, um, I may be required to buy 2 lots of Rebel and Scum. So yeah, this is going to be probably the biggest talking point through Worlds. We've got Oz Open here in June. There's going to be a bunch of other store events, I'm sure. The question is, are people going to be interested enough in 1.0 to play 1.0 up until D-Day? And that remains to be seen. I'm hoping so, because I've got a lot of shit I wouldn't mind sort of throwing out there, having a bit of fun. I'm expecting that we're going to see a lot of people sort of going, just holding out. I do expect FFG probably going to hurt their own bottom line here, at least for the next few months, because X-Wing sales will probably dry up in anticipation for 2.0. You'll probably see a lot of pre-orders. People will probably maybe pre-order a little bit. But I think probably the key thing here is, one of the big ones is the new sets that are coming out for Wave 14. They're going to have, as I said before, they're going to have 1 and 2, version 2 cards in them. So I think they actually might be snapped up even more so than previously. Anyway, look, I've yabbled on enough about this. I'm still sort of getting grips. I woke up this morning and It all came down from a comment. The guy posted up a post on the sale page and saying, "Oh, since 2.0's come out, since 2.0's coming, um, I'm going to sell these things for cheaper." And I was just like, 2.0 hasn't been announced. Then he showed up a link. And I was like, "What?" This was like waking up in the morning and the kids were also screaming in my ear. So I'm like, yeah. But anyway, big news. FFG have announced 2.0. We knew it was going to happen, just didn't know when. Gen Con was probably the good guess, but we weren't 100% sure. 1.0 is no longer, well, it's still going, and people want to play it, go for it, but competitive scene is going to be 2.0. We don't know enough about 2.0 yet, particularly the rules, to sort of go, okay, well, this is what we expect to see with regards to some meta. I'm guessing still, 1.0, 2.0, you don't see a lot of what happened in 1.0 where people took a more simpler approach and then built it up. So yeah, but we'll wait and see. Um, that's enough for me. I'm Heath Carruthers from alphahpg.com. Thanks for watching. See ya.